We didn't get started till late this year, but the beans have been great, so we're very fortunate. Right now we're averaging 75 bushel an acre on every acre that we put out. Supposed to be 71, nice and warm, good day to finish. The beans are ripe and ready to be harvested. We had a little bit of full season beans strung across this field, so we had to wait just a little bit on this field because it had a full season bean kind of strung in with it. So it's turned out good. These are 20-inch beans, and they're about 130 to 135 thousandths. These are as-grow beans. As you can see, there's the yield as we go across the field. Okay. You can see how dry they are, 11/8. We start harvesting once they hit 15. It'll be 2 weeks today. Luckily, knock on wood, we haven't had any major breakdowns, just little minor adjustments because these are new combines. We've been rolling every day. It's a nice feeling to have. And it's going well. Different varieties, what not to plant and what it likes and what it don't like, and how to feed it. We got trials everywhere, trying to get better at it. Yeah, we probably got 30 to 35 trials across the whole 3,300 acres of harvest beans, and just different ways of doing things and see what works and what don't. Some things work, some things don't work, and you wasted your money. So one thing we don't want to do is waste our money. So we try different things, and boy, when you hit the home run, you want to write all those figures down. Yeah, this is a home run right here. This is a Babe Ruth swing here.
So I need to stimulate a response.
I think it's going to work.
And everybody's always wants to point the finger everywhere else, but it normally starts with you.
Here we go.
This is a pretty special place to me.
Well, Corey's done a lot of stuff for us as far as putting out plots and doing different things with him in his own business now. Takes a little away of my time, but I'm willing to do that because he's coming up with some great things. I mean, things that we need on the farm in chemistry. And he's come up with some great stuff. And I think you'll see the results of it this year because I've seen him over there in the test plot. I'm really excited to see how that test plot does. They're going to run it today, so we'll have some numbers to see what we got. We got about 11 of us out here today, not counting the chisel plow crew. They're on the other side of town chiseling, getting stuff ready for next fall or next spring.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're already planting next spring.
Well, you got to plan a year ahead.
Once the harvest is going, you're already starting.
Just like these combines, we order them a month or a year and 4 months out.
Yeah.
And luckily we got all of our pieces, so we're very fortunate. Working with the Hi-Cat's been a pleasure. They're out of Washington Courthouse there, and their word's good. When they said they'd get it here, and they did. I know a lot of other things. Other people's having trouble getting stuff, and it's that's why I say about ag. You know, right now it's not just ag; it's everybody trying to get parts and stuff. Can't even get a fuel filter for stuff. I mean, it's just nobody has any parts.
That's crazy. We're all on shipping containers somewhere.
Yeah, they're having trouble when they're shipped over here, getting them unloaded. and getting them on trucks to get them shipped to the stores and stuff. Not seen this country in the shape it's in. I'm 65 and I never thought I'd ever see this country turn into what it has.
I figure since I'm running the combine, I'd rather have a flashlight. Who told you to fold it in?
Doug, Michael.
Oh. I didn't know if you had anything to do to the ag leader, so I figured you can get signal that way, being folded out parked here.
Hey, whatever you guys need, no problem.
Uh-huh. Took the nut all the way off.
Loose them both. You got them both loose?
Boy, it didn't feel like it. I had to force that.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
I didn't check see if I've been any paddles.
3 rocks this morning.
With the soybeans with Terramax, we brought it out and instantly, man, I just couldn't believe the nodulation we had so early. Look at that. That root, look how much nodulation is already on there. And you have these little peanuts all the way down here that deep in the soil, around the roots here. That's a very good start. If you haven't heard of them, you better get to know them because their products are here to play. We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
But on our farm, we got to average a 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
Probably absent of disease just because we got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
The one thing that is a must, that's this product right here. Reducing stress adds bushels.
Copperhead concaves, to me, are the only way to go. This is a real return on our investment. And when we went to these, we took an automatic increase all the way to 5,300 bushels an hour, which is incredible. Sometimes we don't have enough truck to keep up with what this combine can harvest. Used less horsepower, less fuel, and did a better job cleaning. It's second to none.
What do you think of my boulders? Yeah, baby.
It can have a pretty good ammonia taste, but what I like to say is it's the revenge of the chicken. Because every day you steal that chicken's eggs. She has a little egg and you take it away from her. So she makes really stinky poop as retribution for you taking her eggs. And that's why chicken litter smells that bad. That's a fact. Now when I was younger, I was a dairy farmer, milk cows. That sucks. Here to tell you that sucks. Nothing against any dairy farmers. Like I said, I was one for a long time. But it sucks as far as I'm concerned. So barn burnt down when I was 27. Probably the best thing that ever happened because it put us out of the dairy business. So on to other things after that. All right, so we're spreading with this Terragator floater. She's got a little age on her, got some hours on it. Bought it used from an outfit that, actually did a bunch of spreading out in Iowa. So we picked this unit up. It has a few issues once in a while, but you can cover a lot of ground with it. So it's a Terragator floater. She's 4-wheel drive, big floater tires, looks cool, using the Terragator, and then we got a big Doosan loader with floater tires, again, because floaters are cool, right? That's the main reason for having them. That and they float, but they are cool. So we have that, and another pretty trick deal is what they call a high tip bucket. So it actually hinges out on the edge of the bucket arms, so you get about another 3 foot of reach out of it. So that floater's very tall, so it's about the only way you can load something that tall is have one of those big high tip buckets. Something else that's pretty cool. Bean harvest 2022. We're getting down there. It's October 5th. I'm on my last field. I've still got more beans to do after that. I do some custom for a neighbor. We've got some of theirs done, but more to do. This is my last field. It's called the Winterton Farm. It borders some of my dad's ground. My dad's actually retiring this next year. We'll be taking over what he farmed. That'll be I guess the first family ground we farmed in a long time. So it's been about 30 years at least since I've been on any of his ground. So he's got good ground. It'll be fun to farm that. But so this is called the Winterton Farm. Borders Dad's, as I said. It's a pretty decent farm. It's not irrigated. It's just decent soils. We've got okay beans out here. We got 75 bushel beans, some 80s. But I think the farmer's got to average around 75. No real high yield practices out here. Where we did all our high yield practices was on our drip irrigation farm, and that succumbed to huge, heavy white mold pressure, and we basically lost that crop. It didn't do worth a crap. I'm going to have to come out of beans there and go to more of a corn wheat rotation, because I just can't control the white mold in there. We've done a lot of things to try to control it. We're losing the battle, so I'm going to have to go to a different rotation. But anyway, we're out here combining respectable beans. You know, if I get 75 bushel beans anywhere, you got to be happy with that. Rocks we've been dealing with today. Several, these beans are down. We had 1 5 and 1 6 inch rain in August, which is very thankful for because we're very dry, but it knocked the beans flat, at least my beans. They're a little too tall. Decent fertility, your beans will get too tall sometimes. So knocked them flat. That always takes yield off when they get knocked down. The few areas that are standing, the monitor pops up another 10 bushel or so, well into the 80s or hit 90 occasionally. So that's what we're dealing with out here. Dealing with down beans. Down beans, you got to run the head really low. I got her tipped down to scoop them up. You know what else I'm scooping up? The rocks. So we've been fighting that all day. It's just one thing we got to do. You know, one more thing you got to deal with. When the crop goes down like that, you got to be on the ground to get it, and you're going to get whatever rocks are exposed. So we tried to do a good job picking them up. Actually, this spring we ran a ranger over the whole farm, every planter pass to pick them up, but we didn't get them all, obviously. So that's what we're doing. Last couple days of beans, and then on to corn. And I think we're going to have some pretty darn good corn.
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
But on our farm, we got to average a 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
Probably absent of disease just because we've got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
The one thing that is a must, that's this product right here. Reducing stress adds bushels.
We are here at Chestnut Vale, which is Temple Road's father's home farm. We've become very good friends. Getting ready to fill up the planter, start planting soybeans. He's got a trailer full of bean products and starter fertilizer to apply for the upcoming season. We run Radiate in furrow. We're running Quick Ultra Awaken in furrow. Gets the plant up fast, helps with root development. We've been running dry fertilizer today. Nitrogen phosphorus in a 2x2 as well, not only on corn but also on beans.
Today is Monday, October 10th. We're here at my farm here at my house where we always have the playgrounds. Earlier this season, we've been following this field very closely. This is where we have the anhydrous ammonia soybeans. These are a 4-3 soybean 2, which for Ohio is a very full season soybean. We normally don't grow these, but we're trying something different this year. And we're finally in the combine to harvest these and hopefully pull a really good yield from these. Overall this year with the beans, we've been very pleased with it. We've definitely learned a lot. With all the good we can talk about, we We can talk about the self mistakes, so we can start there. Decided to do some turbo tilling in the springtime. It was a tad too wet, got in a hurry, got on it, and it really hurt our soybean yields. So not being patient starting in the springtime bit us in the butt all the way through the year. I love turbo tilling, it's a great tool, but you got to know when to use it and when not to use it. And we got on the ground just too soon and added way too much compaction. So that was a lesson learned though. So today's been a real hectic day. We're actually finishing up soybeans today. The two big new Lexions over there, they're already done with beans. They've already switched to corn. Trying to get them calibrated. I've actually been bouncing back and forth between this combine and that combine. Trying to get everything up and going. So as soon as we're done here with this field, 2022 soybean harvest will be done. And we saved the best for the last here, and hopefully we can try to beat Terry, or whatever his name is, from Maryland. Try to give him a run this year and see what happens. But it's been tough. The weather, so far the best soybean that we've ran this year is a 3-1 soybean, and typically our early season doesn't do that well, but that's when we got the rain. And then it's been a month and a half since it's rained. I mean, we have not had rain in a month and a half. So these fuller season beans, the pods are actually just like AirPods, but not the kind that you listen to music to. They were ginormous beans inside them. And then it just quit raining, and now it looks like a piece of nerd candy inside the pods. That's the nature of the beast. We turn hot and dry at the wrong time for the full season beans. We're still going to get a good yield. I know other people around America has had it a lot worse this year, so I'm not going to complain, but you know, the beans are standing great. I've done everything that I wanted to do to these beans, and like I always say, get out, walk them, touch them, feel them, know what's going on, because sometimes Mother Nature can take it away from you. And that's kind of what happened here. It's going to take the top end off. So we're never really going to know what it could have been. But the good news from that is, though, we've already been out here enough to see what worked, how it worked, and it did everything that I wanted to do. The standability is great. Got 135,000 population. They got great height, fully loaded. We kept all the branches on. The branches didn't fall off. So everything I was trying to improve from the following years, we improved from this year. So now we can start putting all the pieces together of what worked and what didn't, and just come back next year even stronger. So I'm pretty excited. We're back here in the office. We just wrapped up the 2022 season of soybeans. We're moving on to corn. I'm very proud with the season that we had this year. A lot of people I want to thank. First off, my wife and kids. I haven't been home a whole lot, and then the farm help. Dad, Junior, Poe, Matt, everybody, all the truck drivers. I mean, they've been putting in the hours, and we did about 4,000 acres in 10 days, so we've been rolling. So thanks to everybody out there. It's definitely not a one-man crew. To all the seed companies, chemical companies, everybody, thank you. I mean, very pleased with the season we had this year and with the results, but it's time to move on to 2023 and start the game plan the soybeans for that. And hopefully this year yields were enough to challenge old Terry from Maryland. But we'll see you all next year.
We are here at Chestnut Vale, which is Temple Road's father's home farm. We've become very good friends. Getting ready to fill up the planter, start planting soybeans. He's got a trailer full of bean products and starter fertilizer to apply for the upcoming season. We run Radiate in furrow. We're running Quick Ultra Awaken in furrow. Gets the plant up fast, helps with root development. We've been running dry fertilizer today, nitrogen phosphorus in a 2x2 as well, not only on corn but also on beans.
We want the bottom canopy to be healthy with a good fungicide. We use Revitec on it. It's really going to help that bean finish off strong.
But on our farm, we got an average of 6 bushel better with the Revitec fungicide than any other fungicide.
Probably absent of disease just because we've got the Revitec out here, but just mainly for the plant health.
The one thing that is a must, that's this product right here. Reducing stress adds bushels.
So this Winterton farm field and a couple other fields we have, we got 2 planting dates. I had to replant. Dirty word, replant. I don't know if replant's the right word because we came in and we added more. Planted the first time and we got a rain, and then it turned really, really hot and windy, like 90 degrees, which we don't normally get in northern Illinois that time of year. First time we planted was, I think, May 1st or 2nd. So it baked off hard on us very fast, and we didn't get them all out of the ground. So my population was down spots like down to 40,000. And I don't mind thin beans. I mean, we've done real well with it, but that's getting pretty thin. That's corn populations. So we put more in on an angle. We just planted through it, and we did that, I think, around May 23rd or something like that. So at 2 different planting dates, ended up all those came. The beans actually maybe were a little too thick then. So this field's had a few issues, different populations throughout the field just because of the way it came up, and then those beating rains in August pretty much made her go flat. So whenever you get flat beans, you lose yield. And there went another rock. But I think that one went through. So we got a couple trials out here, 2 or 3 different ones. We have a foliar pass that I have to check and see exactly what was in that. We have a dry fertilizer, a couple rounds in here that I did that I top dressed over top. See how that did. And then we also have Source product out here. So we got all those. We'll kind of see what, when we get the field done, what that looks like. But try to put a few trials in every field if we can, kind of get an idea what to use next year, or new products coming out on the market. The 2022 Podfather season is about come to a close. At least it's about come to a close for me. I fully expected to come in last, and I have met expectations. Always like to meet my expectations. That's a good thing, right? What we were really pushing hard on, we had bad white mold come into those beans and just pretty much destroyed them. Our just normal dryland beans, we do have some in the 80s, but nothing ecstatic or that we can talk that much about. So we still had fun doing it though. We always learned some stuff to try for next year. So want to thank our sponsors. We want to thank Swood Media for helping us put this all together, because they're the people that make it happen. So we'll see everybody on CornWarriors. I think we're going to do a little bit.